Hello, everybody. I'm back. Hi. We're gonna play more because I want to. Let me make the correct audio. Oh, right, I was gonna hold up. Put this up here. That was better. All right. Okie dokie.
Come to see how we're getting on? We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The Reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
There's not a lot of things that you wouldn't do, Lise.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Now, don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Sure. What? I don't never talk. I talk all the time.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure? After all, we were adventurous before we were scions, were we not?
Yes.
After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
Yeah. Twist my arm, why don't you? That maniacal face. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for a little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte, and we will be along shortly. See you there. Okie dokie. I talk more than that. I'm just not at home when I'm doing that. I do have a job where I speak in long sentences often. I have to tell a bunch of people what to do. Oh, my character? Oh, yeah, she doesn't really talk a whole lot. It's implied that she talks because she does a little hand wave when she's explaining the exposition to people and we fade to black. Hi guys! Greetings, Kendrexica. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Varenwald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat on the throne. Yes, he is an elf, though he's a baby elf. He's a young lad, short elf. All of the elves are usually, like, super tall. But he's a baby. A uniquely brutal despot, by all accounts. Despot. I don't know how to say that word. That he was. The King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Ralger's Reach being burned to the ground. Baby helper. No, I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown Lalafell. I'm just short. In the later years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown. And so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of a king. And it's said these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace, thus born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I don't know what a baby Lalafell looks like. I don't think I've ever seen a child Lalafell. Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty? Let me know how that goes. You assume correctly. And I would also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known. Others must surely have gone in search of your prize. Oh! Thank you so much for subscribing, Kurt Cuane. Welcome to the treasure trove. How are you doing, Kurt? Well, of course we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. I am doing very well, Kurt, thank you. Enjoy those emotes that I drew and my sister Landon colorized for me. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. For 6 months in advance. Holy cow. I just read that. Thank you so much. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart racing. I love adventure. Look at me, I'm so cute and I love adventure. New emote. What does that emote do? Where are the emotes? you! Thanks so much for the gifted sub! Welcome to the treasure trove, frogs! Social. There we go. Emotes. Box. Ah. Cute. Okay. I'll put it here. What's this one? Oh, the Eastern Bow. Yes. Yeah. Oh wow, I get to choose one of these? Ooh. What's my item level right now? 283. Yeah. Neat. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Damalska is already risen up in rebellion, which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such diversion? Tell us, Ehrenwald, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? New Lalafell. Okay, Lalafell do not have children the same way the larger races do, as they are more akin to a pudding. What? Generally, a Lala will begin to gain mass and undergo something akin to cellular mitosis. Oh my gosh, there's a real explanation. The new Lalafells are generally a bit smaller, as their pudding skin has hardened into the smooth, leathery, generally doll-like quality we know them to have, and thus tend to stay in their burrowed dens inside neglected Rogan until maturity. These Lalafell are obviously homeless, but with diligence they will find a drunken row to exploit at the coffer and coffin. Holy cow! So, Lalafells reproduce asexually, is what you're telling me. You know, the term potatoes in terms of Lalafells makes a whole lot more sense to me now. I didn't understand it before, but I understand it now. Holy cow. Well, judging by how the other nature hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to ask around. Potatoes. Hi, Sal! I mean, not Sal. Would that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied Archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. Thank you for another gifted sub. Welcome to the treasure trove. Clearly not Sal. And hydrate or dihydrate. I'm hydrating. There you go. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants officials in Theodric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may be useful, so be sure to listen well. Yeah, emotes! Oh, I forgot to read that. Ha, and there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbard's Gate. am I going? Ah, over here. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Ah. In the palace? No, not me, lass. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed far away from the palace as possible. You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know is the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. Hi, shiny Eevee boy! Welcome in! How are you? They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. No, the other one is clearly not Sal. Good to hear it. Aye, I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Sandwich, can't complain. Welcome in. Enjoy your sandwich. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, clearly not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask for old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. Ooh. Hello, Arnold? Here he is. Yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? We're looking for the treasure. You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet, if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I should tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric paranoia and public executions of his kinmen? Thanks for another gifted sub, Kurt. Welcome to the treasure trove, shiny Eevee boy. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Yikes. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Yay, no ads! Flying, I can fly. Ah, bless. I went a little crazy on the flying, though. Alpha, no! You're involved. Hello? Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperial somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Kondraxica? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Yeah, he turned his whole family into monsters and threw them in the dungeons. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Algiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said not of cursed abominations. Could we undo the curse and get the royal family back? Would that be something we could do? We're looking for leaders, aren't we? The Imperial archives are also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace ground. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Kondraxica? I don't have a reason not to believe him. His fear seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arenvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? Oh, serious time. It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. Aren't they amazing? I love lava fells. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Ah. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a fair child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. You can play on my account, Frogs, if you want. And I only offer that because I'm married to you. But it's a ton of fun. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Yodric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Yeah, we'll do that later. Serious face. I wonder if he ever got hit in the arrow of the knee. Probably. He's an adventurer. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Kondraxica, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Then I should be glad to tell you of my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. Of course. Oh wait, I don't get all of them. I think I need casting. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, see, I just need all of these earrings and stuff. Oh. Out with it. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, I mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene at the southern edge of Loch Seld. You're gonna make me go through the gate. No, I can fly. I can fly over it. Ha ha ha. Oop. Where are they? There they are. Forgive me, it was not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the great flood of the 6th Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral Era. Okie dokie, have fun! From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but a place still further below the ruins of Scala. Whoops. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's Trove? Precisely, and since we know the court's thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city would have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the Trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Kendraxica, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route to the ruins? While you do that, Arenvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. Bum, bum. Or this way. Oh, that's a fate. Aha. Yes, my swimming chair. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Swimming chair, go! A door! You come to a worn stone door standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. Hello? Kendraxica, it's Alphino. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a teleportation portal concealed by enchantments. The markings indicate it leads to an underground cavern. What news on your end? I found a door. And you believe it leads into the ruins? Then I dare say we will be able to meet within. Go on and head through the door. By the way, I took the liberty of calling on a friend for help. I guarantee she's both dependable and discreet. We'll see you soon. Who is this? Yay! Oh, I don't know who she is. But that's great. Let's go. Oh, I gotta bring out my carbuncle. Hi, Pan! How are you? Welcome in! Another gifted sub. Thanks, Kurt Gawain. Welcome to the treasure trove, Pan. I have it's so long. Pan Curonium Colio Sexual. I enjoy the vibes. Ah, that makes sense. That's a neat name. Pan Curo. Garuda.
Leave it to me.
Sexual. You're trans or non-binary people. Oh, that's interesting. Bum.
Leave it to me.
Okay, I'm just gonna run through all these guys. Hey guys. Oh wait. Help. I forgot I'm a DPS. I didn't forget. I just wanted to push through. Yeah! I'm desperately trying to make it through all the story bits. And I had a ton of fun yesterday, so I'm back. Oh, I forgot Carbuncle. The goal is at least twice a week. I might be doing more often. I'm probably gonna do more often than that. But you know, I have a minimum. I'm doing 2 days in a row because I got started on Thursday. And I might also do twice in the same day. It depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on in my life. I was talking with my siblings about starting up. We used to do a Super Sibling Stardew Saturday, and we're talking about starting it back up in a few weeks. So that'll probably be a third stream that I do. And I won't be streaming on Sundays because I frankly just don't have time. And that's a me day anyways. Alright. Kelpie. Ow. Ow. Wasn't paying attention. No, don't run into me, Alphino. Ow! do. Ow. Oh my gosh, I clicked off of him. There we go. Oh my gosh, I went backwards. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did that. I was like, I'm not running into anything at all. This is weird. Oh my gosh. Come over here. Using a Chromebook? That's all she had? It's... Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm glad that she's got a computer now. Bum, bum. New chords, oh my gosh. That's the story of my life. Lose everything all the time. Go Ironbald. Be a tank. Hold up. Let me grab these guys. There we go. I'm paying the most attention to what buttons I'm pushing. Pushing the limits of the laptop. Yeah. I tend to do that too. If I have a laptop, I'm pushing the limits. My mom recently got a gaming laptop because she's like, I want to play games with my kids. So her old laptop was broken, so she got a brand new gaming laptop for like Christmas. She has yet to play games with me, but she says it's a great laptop. Ow.
Away with you.
Hooray! Supermarket simulator, nice. I'm sure that that's a great game to use to test things. Ah! That's rude.
Leave it to me.
Whoops. Activate clunk transformation. Uh-oh. I got turned. Cool. I'm glad I understood the assignment. Oh my gosh. We did it. Oh my gosh. Go, Kendraxica, go! Bum, 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 ba-da. Are there things in here? Just a treasure chest? Okay. I already have that. Okay. Thank you. Ow! How dare you? Hooray!
Down with you.
Guess we have to fight these guys one at a time. Stop pointing things at me. Leave me alone, I'm just a humble adventurer. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Here we go, here we go. Never. Look at this. Look at this cute face. I've never done anything wrong in my life. The crystal berets were not my idea. That was all Alphino. I was suspicious from the start. No. My cute mitosis face. Look at it. I'm so cute. Well, I guess we're not gonna be able to cure all these guys. Hold on. Bring these guys over here. Hey, man. No, run away, run away, run away, run away. Oh my gosh. Considering these guys are called Rotting Royals, I think that we can rule out curing them and putting them on the throne instead. Besides, they don't want kings anymore, right? It's probably gonna be Lise who ends up as the leader. Ooh. Cutscene. Holy cow. Look on the hair of that guy. This way. Roderick Poison Tongue. What a name. Oh, wait, no. Go to the edge. Go to the edge. Okay. Rule 1. Follow the NPCs. I'm so confused. Ow! Why did Aaron Mullins stand over there? Tail. Okay. His claws. Don't stand in front of him. Oh gosh. Ah! Sorry guys. Whoops. Oh, I got confused. No, don't attack her. Summon Ifrit instead. Oh, I didn't realize I was standing behind him. Stay out of the way, NPCs. You got this. sorry I failed that. It was bad. I was in a bad place. Oh my gosh.
I have my pride.
Die! Yay! We did it! Oh, it's a guy! Oh. Well, guess we can't talk to him. Oh, I'm so sad. It was a guy. We killed him. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Wow. Wow, Ironvold.
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Look at this hair. This man was
I can't
Super
wait to see the look
Saiyan.
on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Ironvold and I tried to do our fair share, but I fear you ended up bearing the bulk of the burden as usual. You truly led the way with your adventuring prowess, my friend. Aye, without your help I'd reckon we'd still be fumbling about in the dark. I'm glad I called on you. I must say, I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What? Like you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? I wish you could have seen the look on your own face, Alphino. What? Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that's all that matters. Bum, bum. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lise should be the first. Seconded. She is bound to be delighted. If I am no longer needed, then I shall take my leave. Of course, don't let us keep you. Thanks again, and say hello to Vama for me. How do you know her? I don't remember her. Now then, there's to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, so Lisa is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Yeah. Ba-da-ba. Here she is. Hi, Lise. We found treasure. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. We killed the rest of the royal family and got a bunch of treasure. You're joking. The Mad King's trove? I thought that it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Kondraxica and Alphino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there's as much as you say. Arenval did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve anything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alphino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem! Deep breaths. Tell me what's happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You'd best come and see for yourself.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
What?
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Oh.
Bring her out! Bring her out!
The butcher?
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedorla.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Butcher the... Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye! And my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
It's the bull.
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth.
Yeah.
Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
Yeah.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Oh my gosh. I have a little bow. I'm eating a chocolate. My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. 'Tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over. All the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. Starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've been invited... We've even invented the Ananta and Kirin to participate. Alamigos stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodric and Xenos. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye, unforgivable things, but in some ways she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. All right, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. You have the commander's permission to answer then? Yeah. Wow, we made her put on pants.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you?
Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men! And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fadola. I see you for what you are.
Oh, now I get to see it too. The Echo.
Come along, Fadola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right!
Was she a noble child?
Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Hmm.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
Wow.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Hmm.
Fadola!
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
Holy cow.
We're citizens. We have rights.
Ah!
I'm scared.
No wonder.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive.
Traitors! Traitors!
Oh my gosh.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Wow. Oh, now we're seeing teenage Fordola.
Fordola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods! What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones.
Alamegans are just really prone to forming mobs.
It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
I mean, I don't choose to do it. It just kind of happens.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they?
I mean, kind of. Not really.
Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
Oh, yeah. She got echoed into my past. Hey, I'm not very different from you. I'm the Warrior of Light.
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone.
No, I'm the hero. I'm the main character.
The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
You know, you saw. Or because I choose to. It's a choice.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
I'm glad that someone was like, you don't know the pain I've been through, and then got a glimpse of the pain I went through, Kendraxica went through. I was like, what? How do you do it? Like, I'm the main character. Get over yourself. I'm better than everybody, because I'm the Warrior of Light. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. Aye, and I found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Kendraxica, but the visions only come to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. Yeah. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the echo and one who's been artificially imbued with it? Well, the immortal flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Do. This way. General Alden is inside, aye? Will you be joining him? Sure will. Holy cow. Music. What news? You spoke with Fordola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Arenvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the Scion's expert assistance if you'd have time to lend a hand. Sure. Let's go find, Ishtola. She can do it. So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible ether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. Oh my gosh. Go up the stairs. This is the one Kryl was in, right? The device in which Kryl has held seems even more ominous now that you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. Oh. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the aether of the occupant. Save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. They studied Kryl's echo. Oh my gosh, did they force Kryl to have the echo all the time? I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Kendrexco, shall we start with you? Yeah. They drained the aether out of these guys, and then they studied Kryl's aether. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure detailed infusing a single candidate with aether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo. I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryl is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. So Kryl is a lot better at the echo than most other people are. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door night and day if she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past. Man, she's getting tortured. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain, imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Isael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Therese Felger's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these gods-forsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish, not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. Okie dokie. I go looking for answers about the Echo and end up getting schooled by Ravon. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority and how much I still have to learn. I wonder if what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face, to continue the life they built in Ul'dah or start again in the land of their birth. Kendraxica, a moment. Pippin! I am newly returned from Mulda with a message from the Sultana. Oh. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Nanamo! Let's go visit Nanamo. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. Bye, Pippin. Yes. You know, how... Now that I know how Lalafels reproduce... I don't know. I don't actually, you know what? I'm not gonna think about it anymore. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Ah. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable with interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Kendraxica. What was it? Well, so the Sultana is, like, from a long line of sultans, right? But they reproduce through, like, mitosis. So how did they, like, plant her in a specific space and then, like, bring her out again? How does the line of succession work with her? I don't know. It's weird to think about. Ooh. Alec and silver pieces. It's been so long since I've seen those as a reward. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Still, shall we be about it, Ironvald? I am at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Nanamo my regards, Kendraxica. I think... Well, the thing you said was, like, they come to a time in their lives where they, like, gain an extra growth. And then they plant that growth in the ground. So... I don't know. I don't think you, like, I'm ready to do it. I think it just happens eventually. I don't know what the lifespan of a Lalafell is, actually. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. Okay, bye! Oh, wait. I can do this. I don't have to spend my money. I'm going over here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. 80 to 100 years old. Okay. So, like, at some point during that, they're good. They do stuff. You are expected, my lady. Please proceed. Thanks, Bartholomew. Just a couple of potatoes sitting at the table. The last time I was here, you died.
In these most interesting times, you have been busy.
I sure have, Nanamo. And I'm a little nervous about being here because the last time I was here, I was framed for your murder.
The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel.
Sure.
I speak of Rauban and his future.
Hey, we were just talking about this. I'm also curious what he's gonna do.
All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Uldar home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo.
Yes.
And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side.
Aww. I'm not surprised because he cares about you so much, Nanamo. He, like, nearly went to jail. He, like, killed the guy he thought killed you. And had a whole thing. I don't think he's gonna abandon you anytime soon.
Arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears.
That's pretty wise.
Might I have your company for a brief adventure?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Going on an adventure with Nanamo. Inside the quick stand. Okay. There we go. Oh look, so cute. What do you think of Lilira, the merchant's daughter? This is the disguise I don when I wish to leave the palace and observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me. For this particular outing, I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the gates of Nald. Okay. Okay, hold on. Gate of Nald. Ba 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 ba. Hello, level 1 babies. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor, at the mercy of the elements and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is. Unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever afford to hope ever hope to afford dwelling in Ul'dah. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity, yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. Your hands have been tied, Your Grace. They faked your death and had a whole thing. There was a whole thing about it. The merchants run Ul'dah, actually. Yes, my authority limited, and that is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy hair. Oh, that's the materia quest that I haven't done. What? There she is. It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interest in Easter Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was a simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth of... He assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of the citizens, quite unaware of the consequences of my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivete. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarist's damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You were one of the few people of whom I can feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh my gosh. I hit the invisible ceiling. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter of my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another. And my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raban to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the Blood Sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the Syndicate. And then I had my blade. Echo! Yes. This is the same Raban. Though I'm a little bit further in the timeline here than we were in that D&D game.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
Look at her little run!
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Shum. Raban!
Your Grace.
Oh.
Kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine.
She's so cute.
With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar. And so, as tradition dictates, Rauben Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last.
Oh my gosh. Their friendship is the best thing on the planet.
Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
Oh. Bum, bum. Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shun's love for me is that of grandsire for his grandchild. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. Ba 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 ba. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan's Horn for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzanath ossuary. Okie dokie. Over here. When the calamity threatened, Raban led the Alliance forces to battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louisoix would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions. Here, I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, Kendraxica. With Ala Mhigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already, many displaced Ala Mhigans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution, an artisan school in Rhalgr's Reach, for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we will not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time the Ul'dah Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Why not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? Screw the syndicate. A wise suggestion. Mayhaps a visit to the Gold Saucer in his order. Its proprietor is a member of the syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. Ah, yes. Manderville. Whatever his first name is, I can't remember. Ah, yes. I am acquainted with Godbert Manderville. I haven't finished the Manderville quest, and I abandoned it, so I don't know where to go. Wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? I am. Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. Wow, we're going to the Gold Saucer? Oh, the airship landing. I have ridden aboard public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess some excitement. Seek passage to the Gold Saucer. I've heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away at the Royal Queen. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. It'll be my treat, though. Oh, hold on. What? Up there. Okay, I gotta find the stairs. Someone's playing mahjong. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Mandeville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such notice. While the intrepid Kendrixica Zaroth and Sultana herself come calling, there's no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I'm sure, of the many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland. You are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter to work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might be best distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Ul'dah's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have a housing and employment, but what profit is there for Ul'dah in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Girabana's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek benefit for their misfortune. Forgive me, Your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Ul'dah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to the nature of the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill? Indeed, then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Ul'dah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamigans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of all your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. Thank you for your candor. Oh my gosh. Click it. Profit. The thought had never cast your minds. You better watch it. No, that was Manville. That's Manderville. But standing about lamenting my naivete will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Kendraxica, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. I know so many. Ah, him. Ordinarily I would not trust an agent of the East Aldenid Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You must repay my faith by journeying the distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetheryte in Ul'dah. A fair journey to you, Kendraxica, and a swift one, if you please. Kugane! That quest didn't even give me enough. Oh, I need to do that. Do I have... Mega gear. Ah. Cool. I'm not gonna do that right now, though. Oh my gosh. Ethernet. Where is he? Over here. Greetings, honored madam. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices? Yes. Hancock. Kendraxica, to what do I owe the pleasure, or are you here on business? Business. I beg your pardon. Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how to best invest the wealth of Ul'dah. My dear Kendraxica, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure. And I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master? Upon the matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise her grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. Well, I hate him, so I don't want to talk to him. I should happy to arrange a meeting for you, say, at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Kendraxica, and may your dealings prove fruitful. But I don't want to talk to Lolorito. I'd much rather talk to you. It made me spend all my money just to go to Lolorito. Welcome back, Kendraxica. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? He arranged a meeting with Lolorito. With Lolorito? And you agreed to this? You didn't really give me much options. I am well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I'd hoped to keep the monetarist at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well, I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. Oh great, they just teleported me here. So this is where the Scions first congregated. I have heard many tales, but never had the occasion to visit. To work then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see that we have the appointed room to ourselves.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
No. Okay, I'm moving on. Come sit. It's just us Lalafells here. Oh, she's masked up. Not that he doesn't know exactly who she is.
Your point. 'Tis indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira? Hmm?
Oh wow, she brought her.
Nay,
Oh no,
the
it's just her
subtlety
hair.
served its purpose. I'm glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito. But shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say, I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Uldar and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Uldar. Huh, I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I.
Yes.
Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
Oh my gosh, you're making me remember where I've been. Hold on, I have to look up where these places are. I can't remember. Ba-ba-da-ba. Okay. Alagana, Alagiri. Probably Alagiri. Yeah, Alagiri. It's a waypoint.
Yes, if a stable trade route can be established between Uldar and Alamigo, then Alagiri would once more become an important waypoint. But while such growth would greatly benefit its current residents, I'm afraid it could sustain little beyond that.
Okay, so you're gonna find fault with any of my plans? The Saltery? What about the Saltery?
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltry and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well-versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders, just as Your Grace desired.
A deal is struck then.
There we go. I still hate you though, Lolorito. I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Kendraxica. I could not have done it without you. Of course, our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Kendraxica, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. Sure. My thanks again. Together, we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. Amazing. Lise, I just did an adventure with Nanamo and we've solved all of your problems. Not really, but a bunch of your problems. Kendraxica, you're back! What did Nanamo— Oh, sorry, are you allowed to talk about the audience with the Sultana? Yeah, she told me to tell you. Shiraban says he's going to return to Radha, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Saltry does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. Well, Hancock kind of just arranged the meeting without my approval, and then we just went to it. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I expect her to return to for advice. But on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Uldah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Alphino, it's Kugane. It's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? So much. But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss a proposal with the Saltry's residents. Wizkar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Kendraxica? I might need you to fill in the details. Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. Whoops. Bum, bum, bum. What manner of mischief brings you young'uns to old Wat this time, eh? They want to rebuild the Saltery, Grandad. Can Draxica tell him about the deal? Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Grandad. We'll take care of all of that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the luck if I asked. I'd appreciate Wizcar, my lad. Truly I would. So, does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, aye, but mostly to kill Imperials. You have some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Kendraxica? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Sure, I'm an adventurer. Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. Okie dokie. Right then, Kendraxica. I've got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how I got on. Cool. Oop. Discover the Yabby's weak point. We just have to... Okay. Yabby's jaw. There we go. The Abbey's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, looks like you found a Yabby. They say hunting their shells like... hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Just hit it as hard as you can. Aim for the soft spot on the underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then, wish me luck. He did it! Thanks, Kondraxica. I did just as you told me. The wavekin went down like a sack of popotos. Let's find something else. Okay. Think I can handle the abbeys now, so I think we should try something different. What else is out there? These guys. The eye. The Phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Oh, Phobad. How do I defeat one of those? Just hit it really, really hard. No, the core within its brow. Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab right between the eyes then. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Kondraxica. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Sultry before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to Yabby's hatchlings. I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself after a bit of instruction from Kondraxica here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad, a fine young man you've become, Wizkar, a fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over this in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which shall improve our lot. Things like getting the Sultry ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Seems that Wizkar has the Sultry's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made very presentable dwellings. Message from General Alden. Apologies for the interruption, miss, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Oh my gosh. Everybody wants to talk to me. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here and hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business parties in Ul'dah. You should go. General Alden asks that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamigan quarter. My apologies again, miss. Fare thee well. Hello?
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal.
What?
Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were
I
it in
forgot
your
about that.
hands, how would you punish these men?
Execution is not the answer.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine.
Yeah.
In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
Sure thing.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did.
Yeah, but he made his own choices.
Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't.
It's not your fault.
But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Do you want to do that, though?
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
Yeah. You shouldn't be the leader of Alamigo anyways. You haven't been here for so long. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled, Arenvald, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are Kalyana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisted they be allowed to attend the council. Lisa is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all of the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse it out of hand. We had best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Kendraxica, you've dealt with these Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. Okay, I'll go deal with these guys and then you need to be done. Ba, 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 ba. Ah, there they are. Hey guys! Kendraxica, Raban, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all those who call Girabanya home. If this is true your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but we will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Why do I have the feeling we're welcomed a Viper into our midst? Probably because they're snakes. Alright. Hold on. Want to use this. And this. And a new weapon. Yeah. Fun. All right. What is this? Ingredient. I should probably stop it here. But I'll pick up this quest. Though this will probably throw me in a cutscene. This Kalyana elder's intention seems at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Kendraxica? Maybe even the enthralled can learn to compromise? You believe an understanding can be reached? 'Tis not entirely unheard of, I suppose. Those who followed Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the Scions? Sure. I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Alamegan quarter. You can go on ahead if you like, Kendraxica. My thanks. I will see you in the palace. Okay. I don't want to fly there. Ba-ba-ba. Okie dokie. I will end here. Thank you all so much for watching and joining me. Oh, I should raid somebody. Hold on. Let's go raid. Let's go raid this guy. Arisen Ymir. Oh, it looks like he's on break. Hold on. Let's go raid. Dorial TV. Start raid. Ba-ba-ba. Sweet. All right. Bye, guys.